Chapter 11 The Money-Burning Warrior. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Damn it, is this fake? Guohuzi's eyes widened. The word passed on the assessment application form was like a big mouth hitting him hard in the face. Fuck you. Who dares to cheat in the hunter assessment? Zhou Long grinned, glared at Guohuzi and said, the name on the application form is signed by Elder Xuan. Do you dare to question the elder? From the discussions of these hunters, Luo Xiu learned that the old man in white robes who had just been responsible for giving him the assessment was Zhuang Nantian, the elder of the hunters branch of Qingyun City, and this Zhuang Nantian is also a third-level array mage. In the entire Qingyun City, there are no more than 5 formation masters who have reached the third level. Jiang Shanshan was also stunned, especially since she had just said that if this young man passed her, she would pursue him. Seeing Luo Xiu staring at her with a smile, Jiang Shanshan's cheeks suddenly turned red. Humph, little brother, let's wait until you grow up to talk about this matter. She curled her lips, her red lips were very sexy, and she wanted to play tricks. This kid must have done it on purpose. At such a young age, he dares to date the most beautiful woman in our Qingyun City hunter branch. He has a bright future. Hey, Guohuzi, didn't you just say that if this little brother passes the test, you will twist his head off and play it as a ball for him? That's right, if you are a mastermind, quickly twist your head off. More and more people in the hall started making noises. At this time, Jiang Shanshan also took out a badge with crossed swords and handed it to Luo Xiu. Little brother, congratulations on becoming a hunter. The badge is white. In addition to the logo of the Hunters Guild, there is also a star, which means that Luo Xiu is now a 1-star hunter. There are 9 levels of hunters. 1 to 3 stars are junior hunters, 4 to 6 stars are intermediate hunters, and 7 to 9 stars are advanced hunters. The higher the level of a hunter, the more benefits there will be. However, the hunter branch in Qingyun City can only issue 3-star hunter badges at most. Those with 4 stars and above must go to the county seat of Yunlong County. Guohuzi's face was as black as an iron pot at the moment. Not only did he lose 1,000 taels of silver, but he was also laughed at by many colleagues, which made him feel completely humiliated. Of course, it was impossible for him to really twist his head off. Others just used it as a joke and didn't really take it seriously. Snapped, a money bag was thrown in front of Luo Xiu. The tall and burly Zhou Long grinned and said, little brother, this is 500 taels of silver. Guohuzi just made a bet with me that you would fail the test. The total bet was 1,000 taels. Half of each of us. Luo Xiu was slightly startled. 500 taels of silver was a huge sum of money to him. The gambling fight between Zhou Long and Guohuzi had nothing to do with him. Logically speaking, if Zhou Long won the money, there was no need to share it with him. Brother Zhou Long, you won this money, I can't take it. Luo Xiu refused politely. He didn't like accepting benefits from others for no reason. If it weren't for you, little brother, I wouldn't be able to win this money, so don't refuse, otherwise you will look down on me, Zhou Long. In fact, for Zhou Long, money is a trivial matter, and making his old enemy Guohuzi lose face is what really makes him happy. Luo Xiu smiled. Zhou Long had already said this, so he couldn't continue to refuse. Then thank you brother Zhou for your kindness. He thanked him and put the money bag away. A boy who is less than 14 years old is still very conspicuous in the hunter hall. The average age of many hunters gathered here is basically over 25 years old. Zhou Long insisted on inviting Luo Xiu to drink. He had never drank alcohol since he was a child. He was almost forced to a table in the hall. Counting Zhou Long and Luo Xiu, there are 5 people at this table. One is a thin man with a cold face, and the other 2 are twin sisters with average looks but hot figures. They wear tight-fitting military uniforms and are well-shaped. Come on, little brother Luo Xiu, let me introduce you. Under Zhou Long's introduction, Luo Xiu learned that the thin man with a cold face was called Guoang, and the twin sisters were named Ji Roer and Ji Kaer. Luo Xiu, I said before that if you can pass the assessment, I will let you join my team, how about it? Zhou Long took a sip of wine and said with a smile. Captain, isn't this inappropriate? Before Luo Xiu said anything, Guoang, who was sitting beside him, frowned and said. Although Luo Xiu passed the assessment, he is only at the 5th level of body training after all. Joining our team with such strength will hinder us. This Guoang is second only to Captain Zhou Long in terms of strength in the team, and his words also carry some weight. Zhou Long frowned. How many people can pass the hunter test at the 5th level of body refining? Luo Xiu is only 13 years old and has great potential. He may be stronger than me in the future. You have to have a long-term vision. Plan. At this time when Zhou Long and Guoang were arguing, Luo Xiu did not speak because he had no intention of joining any team from the beginning. Brother Zhou, I appreciate your kindness. If there is nothing else, I will leave. Before Guoang and Zhou Long could say anything, Luo Xiu had already stood up and strode towards the gate of the Hunters' Guild. Guoang, even if you don't agree with him joining, the words are too unpleasant. Zhou Long glared at Guoang with some displeasure. Guoang was not convinced and snorted coldly, I did it for his own good. If I really want to take him out hunting, it will drag us down. Otherwise, he will lose his life. Most hunters actually disdain the so-called young geniuses, because no matter how fast you practice, as long as you have not experienced the baptism of life and death, you will definitely not become a true master. When he reached the gate of the Hunters' Guild, Luo Xiu looked back and saw Jiang Shanshan looking at him, probably because she didn't expect Luo Xiu to turn around suddenly. Jiang Shanshan was startled and quickly lowered her head, her cheeks turning crimson. Luo Xiu just smiled at this and then left the Hunters' Guild. When Jiang Shanshan looked up again, Luo Xiu's figure had disappeared. My cultivation level will probably reach the 6th level of body refining in the next 2 or 3 days. I will wait until my cultivation level breaks through to hunt. Walking on the street, Luo Xiu secretly thought in his heart, going out for hunting is not a trivial matter. During this period, I also have to make some preparations. After thinking about it, Luo Xiu came to Fengshe in the north of the city. The first thing he saw was a shop selling formation devices. In Qingyun City, in addition to the Hunters' Guild, there are also the Array Masters Guild, the Alchemist Guild, and the Foundry Masters Guild. Array Master is one of the special professions among warriors. They use the combination of attributes of various materials to assist in various secret techniques to lay out or create treasures with various magical abilities. Holy crap! A first-level spirit gathering array costs 10,000 taels of silver. In this shop, Luo Xiu's expression changed instantly when he saw a palm-sized white disc engraved with various rune patterns placed on the shelf. The first-level formation corresponds to the warrior's cultivation level of the body refining realm, and this disc-shaped thing is the formation device. The first-level spirit gathering array can triple the training speed of body refining realm warriors, and only those disciples from aristocratic families can afford to use it. Luo Xiu touched the money bag hanging on his waist. 500 taels of silver was a huge sum of money to him. What about 10,000 taels of silver? Chapter 12: The Experience of Cheating. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Then Luo Xiu came to a shop selling pills. 15,000 taels of qi-nourishing pill. Shaking his head, Luo Xiu walked into the weapons shop again. A low-grade human warrior, 600 low-grade vitality stones. This time while strolling around the city, Luo Xiu truly realized the difficulty of practicing martial arts. Children from ordinary families, even if they have good talents, will not be able to survive at the 5th or 6th level of body refining at most, because if they want to break through to a higher level, they need the accumulation of resources. And what are resources? Resources are wealth and vitality stones. If you have a large amount of vitality stones, you can use advanced martial arts, powerful soldiers, formation devices, and elixirs. Even a pig can become a master by pouring a lot of resources into it. There is still 1 month left before the annual assessment. During this time, I will use it to make money. Luo Xiu secretly had his own thoughts in his heart. Boss, how can I sell this Qingfeng sword? Luo Xiu selected among ordinary weapons for a moment, then picked up a long sword that was slightly generous and was completely green and said. Although this sword is not a combat weapon, if it is infused with inner energy, it can break through the defenses of most first-level monsters. Considering your young age, I will give you a preferential price, 500 taels of silver. The middle-aged shopkeeper smiled. Said, ordinary weapons are generally used by warriors below the 8th level of body refining. As for warriors who can reach the 9th level of body refining, or even the Qi-Si realm, most of them can afford low-grade human-level weapons. 500 taels. Luo Xiu frowned slightly. He only had 500 taels in his possessions. If he used all of it to buy this sword, he would really be a pauper. Shopkeeper, how about 400 taels? I need to buy some necessary things such as gold sore medicine when I go out for training. I really don't have that much money on hand. Luo Xiu said. No, 450 taels is too little. The middle-aged shopkeeper shook his head in embarrassment and said, looking at you should be a martial arts student from a relatively ordinary family, at least 450 taels, no more than 1 tael. The resources required by martial arts disciples in the late stage of the body refining realm are far beyond what ordinary families can afford, so it is very difficult for ordinary people to get ahead on the road of martial arts. The middle-aged shopkeeper also showed a trace of compassion, and then gave Luo the repair was 50 taels cheaper. 50 taels may not seem like much, but it depends on who it is. A civilian family can only earn 50 taels in half a year. Then thank you, shopkeeper. Luo Xiu thanked him, took out some silver from his purse, and bought the Qingfeng sword. There is no warrior who doesn't like weapons, and Luo Xiu is no exception. It's just that weapons are too expensive and he couldn't afford them before. The Qingfeng sword is a little over 3 feet in length and is a bit broad. It is difficult for ordinary people to wield it with an arm. However, Luo Xiu is at the 5th level of body training, so the weight of this sword is just right. With a Qingfeng sword, a package, some dry food and water, Luo Xiu embarked on his first journey on the path of martial arts training. After leaving Xuanhuan city, the sky is high and the sky is vast, the vast land stretches as far as the eye can see, and the vast sky stretches for thousands of miles. Luo Xiu carried his sword and walked forward, feeling a surge of pride in his chest, traveling all over the world with my sword, leaving no trace behind for thousands of miles. I am the only one who can do whatever I want. Unrestrained, free and easy, free and fearless, this is the mentality that a warrior should have. 3 hours later, Luo Xiu arrived near Xuanhuan Mountain, the training ground. Along the way, he also saw many other warriors, most of whom were in groups of 3 or 5, and when he came here as a young man with a young face, he attracted quite a lot of attention. Where did this little rookie come from? You see that you are no more than 15 years old and your cultivation level is no more than the 7th level of body refining. How dare you come to Xuanhuan Mountain to hunt alone? Hee, don't look at the shabby clothes he wears. Maybe he is a low-key young man from aristocratic family who came here to practice. You can pull them down. Those disciples from aristocratic families are greedy for life and afraid of death. When did they go hunting without being protected by a large group of experts? I bet this kid will be torn to pieces by the monster. Many people talked among themselves and concluded that Luo Xiu who came here was a rookie who didn't understand the rules and was not afraid of tigers. Luo Xiu noticed that some people looked at him with evil intentions. He had heard that some hunters would fight each other for resources. However, there are no Qi-Si realm warriors coming to Xuanhuan Mountain. Most of the people living in this mountain forest are wild beasts, with only a few first-level monsters living there. Therefore, those who come here to hunt and gain experience are all body-refining realm martial artists. Only, among the deep mountains and swamps near Xuanhuan city, Xuanhuan Mountain is considered a relatively low-risk place. Luo Xiu dove into the woods, highly concentrated and paying close attention to the movements around him. This is my first hunt, I hope it will be fruitful. Emerging from the grass, Luo Xiu jumped up to the branch of a big tree. Then he closed his eyes and entered that special state of understanding the mystery of life and death. Relying on the connection with the life and death pearl, with him as the center, a special feeling spread like tentacles to all sides. Although he had his eyes closed, all the life forms within a radius of 2 or 3 miles appeared in his perception in various forms, as if he saw them with his own eyes. This is the third special ability that Luo Xiu discovered after merging the life and death beads. Following the life veins and the bipolar energy of life and death, as long as it is within a certain range, he can sense the life breath of every living being. The more powerful the creature, the stronger the life breath will naturally be. Suddenly, Luo Xiu opened his eyes, with a smile on his lips, stepped on the branches of the big tree, jumped up, and rushed in a direction. Hiss! The black and white venomous snake, as thick as an arm, was dormant in the dense branches and leaves of the big tree. It swallowed the snake's core, and its inverted vertical pupils were full of coldness and ferociousness. The snake's perception was very keen. It suddenly turned its head, and a human figure appeared in its sight, galloping towards here. It thought it was well hidden, so it opened its mouth slightly, revealing its long fangs. It just waited for the prey to pass by its hiding place and then launched a sneak attack. 15 meters, 10 meters, 5 meters. The distance between the two sides is getting closer and closer. Chang! A cold light streaked through the air, and the branches and leaves of the big tree were chopped into pieces like rain. A snake head the size of a fist flew up, bringing with it scarlet blood, and rolled to the side. The snake's mouth opened and its fangs were exposed, as if it was dying and didn't expect that just when it was about to attack, it would be killed. The black-spotted viper, this guy's poison is very powerful. If there is no detoxification pill, a body-refining realm warrior will die within 10 breaths if he is bitten. Luo Xiu stood aside, very satisfied with his first shot. The black-spotted venomous snake is not a monster, but it is also a very difficult beast. If an inexperienced 6th-level body refiner encounters it, his life may be in danger. Luo Xiu used his sword to open the snake's mouth, took off 2 venomous fangs, then collected the venom sac and snake gallbladder, put them in a small box and put them in the package. In fact, the meat of this poisonous snake is also a delicacy and is very popular in restaurants in Xuanhuan City. However, this snake is more than 2 meters long and it is not easy for Luo Xiu to take it away. Compared to snake meat, the most valuable things are the fangs, venom sacs, and snake gallbladders. These 3 items can be sold for 400 taels of silver without any problem. Luo Xiu said to himself, it is true that warrior training is very expensive, but warriors are also very good at making money. A venomous snake that is not a monster is worth hundreds of taels of silver, and the things on the real monster are naturally more valuable. Chapter 13, Looting the Essence of Plants and Trees. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hum hum. A wild boar with bright red hair, more than 1 meter tall and 3 meters long, was running wild in the jungle. This beast is called a red-haired wild boar. Although it is not a first-level monster, it is very close. Sometimes some weaker first-level monsters are not even willing to provoke this beast. There was a wound on the neck of this red-haired wild boar, which was bleeding gurglingly at the moment. As it ran all the way, a lot of blood was scattered. This beast's skin is really tough. Luo Xiu jumped up and landed on the branch of a big tree. Bang! The red-haired wild boar had scarlet eyes, and it slammed its head directly against the big tree. Its 2 sharp tusks broke through the bark of the tree and penetrated into the trunk. The big tree shook for a while, but Luo Xiu stood motionless without any shaking. Beasts are beasts, they are stupid as hell. Luo Xiu jumped down from the tree and raised his sword to slash the wound on the red boar's neck. The wound was originally caused by his previous sword, but because his sword was just an ordinary weapon, although it could hurt the beast, it could not kill it with one blow. Puff! This sword slashed with accelerating speed and was powerful and heavy. Coupled with the blessing of the infusion of inner energy, the wild boar's head was chopped off, and blood was scattered on the ground. 2 of the most valuable tusks were stuck in the trunk of the tree. Luo Xiu had to work hard to get them out. Then he collected a piece of pork and left quickly. The smell of blood can easily attract other nearby beasts, so resolving the battle quickly is the wisest choice. Unknowingly, the sky had darkened, and the light in the forest was even dimmer due to the blocking of the lush branches and leaves. There are no dangerous beasts around here. Somewhere in the mountain forest, Luo Xiu first sensed the situation nearby, and then began to count today's harvest. During this day, he did not encounter any monsters. The ones he hunted were basically wild beasts, and their strength was at most comparable to that of a 6th-level body-refining warrior. Generally, there aren't many valuable things on beasts, but I killed 7 or 8 of them in one day. I can probably sell them for 2,000 to 3,000 taels of silver. Luo Xiu had a smile on his face. Although 2,000 to 3,000 taels of silver is just a drop in the bucket for cultivation, after all, it is his own money. He believes that as long as he becomes stronger, he will definitely be able to earn more resources. At night, the view is affected and it is not suitable for hunting. Find a place to rest first. After a while, Luo Xiu found a tree hole. The space inside was not big, but it was enough. This was the place he discovered half an hour ago. It was relatively hidden and not easy to be discovered. After taking off the Qingfeng sword from his body, Luo Xiu reluctantly put it aside and said to himself, although I have been killing wild beasts with my sword this day, in fact I have never practiced swordsmanship at all. If I could get a book of swordsmanship, it would be great if you could practice with secrets. Sitting cross-legged in the tree hole, Luo Xiu began to use the improved I Ching bone forging technique. No matter when and where, you must never slack off in your own practice. This is the rule Luo Xiu has set for himself. In the state of cultivation, Luo Xiu used the life and death pearl to sense nearby movements. If an ant quietly crawled over, he would clearly feel the fluctuations of life. The vital energy of heaven and earth gathers together, and through the breathing, it enters the pores of the whole body into the body, condenses into internal energy during the operation of the exercise, and then refines it into the muscles and bones. Although I am already at the peak of the 5th level of body refining, if I want to break through to the 6th level, according to the current situation, it will take at least 3 days. Luo Xiu secretly estimated that since reaching the 5th level of body refining, he began to notice that the speed of cultivation has slowed down. The influence of the level of the skill is secondary. The improved 2nd-grade internal skill is completely sufficient for his current cultivation level. The main reason is that there is not enough vitality for him to absorb and refine. In addition to using pills and formations, how can we obtain more vitality? Luo Xiu's heart was filled with desire. He was eager to improve his strength faster. Buzz! Suddenly, a trace of throbbing came from the life and death bead in the soul. Although it was very weak, Luo Xiu could clearly detect it because of the subtle connection with the life and death bead. Immediately afterwards, waves of pure life energy gathered towards him. As the breath of cultivation entered the body, his cultivation level began to rise at an extremely fast speed. This is... Luo Xiu was surprised and happy. Through the induction with the life and death pearl, he got the message that what he was absorbing at this moment was the essence of life. Life essence is also a type of vitality, but it is of higher quality than the ordinary vitality in the world. When absorbed and refined, the effect is naturally incomparable. Crack! In just a moment, there was a crackling sound from the muscles and bones in Luo Xiu's body, and a stronger force than before emerged in his body. You actually broke through to the 6th level of body refining so quickly. Luo Xiu opened his eyes, with a look of surprise on his face. The 6th level of body refining is the last stage of muscle and bone refining. The next step is the 7th level of body refining, which is the tempering of internal organs. What I absorbed just now was the life essence of the nearby vegetation. At the same time, Luo Xiu also discovered that the vegetation within a range of more than 100 meters had become much weaker. This is a training method that is almost plundering. Life and death are two extremes. Depriving other living beings of their lives is actually the power of death, and Luo Xiu knew very well that after merging the life and death pearl, he had the characteristics of both life and death abilities. Life is giving and dedication, death is destruction and deprivation. Since the life and death pearl is a treasure, it must be something great. Luo Xiu didn't know what the concept of a treasure was. When he first integrated the life and death pearl, various information about this bead came to his mind. Anyway, my strength can be improved quickly through this method. The improvement in cultivation made Luo Xiu very excited. The problem that he had been worrying about was finally solved. Moreover, he also discovered that not only could he absorb the life force of vegetation within 100 meters, but all living beings within this range would be deprived of their life force and converge on him during his exercise. It's just that unlike grass and trees, those animals will immediately panic and flee when they find that their lives have been deprived. As long as they escape within 100 meters, they will naturally be safe. That night, the 100-meter area where Luo Xiu was located became a restricted area. Even the monsters running rampant in Xuanhuan Mountain did not dare to come close. Reaching the 6th level of body refining means that Luo Xiu has completed the stage of tempering skin, flesh, muscles and bones in the body refining realm. He could clearly feel the bipolar energy of life and death contained in his skin, flesh and muscles, which was subtly changing his physique and undergoing some kind of transformation. In the next few days, Luo Xiu hunted in the Xuanhuan Mountain area. Whenever the parcels were full, he would return to Qingyun City and sell them. In 5 days, he made more than 10,000 taels of silver. Sure enough, it's easy for warriors to make money. If I were a Qi Si realm warrior, I would definitely earn more by hunting level 2 monsters. Luo Xiu sighed with some regret. 10,000 taels of silver was simply unimaginable to ordinary civilians. But although 10,000 taels of silver is a lot of money, it is not enough if you want to use it for cultivation. In the past few days, Luo Xiu breathed and absorbed the life essence in Xuanhuan Mountain, and his cultivation level steadily improved. However, if he wanted to break through to the 7th level of body refining, it would not be achieved in a short time. Roar! Suddenly, a beast's roar echoed in the mountains and forests. Even though he was far away, Luo Xiu was shocked by the roar of his eardrums and his energy and blood fluctuated. Monster! And it's not an ordinary monster. Luo Xiu couldn't help being a little surprised. Jumping into the air, Luo Xiu quickly rushed towards the direction where the beast's roar came from. After a moment, he saw in his sight a tiger beast with green and white hair, nearly 2 meters tall and more than 4 meters long. The tiger beast's tail swung, like steel, smashing the rocks next to it. Iron-tail demon tiger. Recognizing the origin of this tiger beast, Luo Xiu couldn't help but shudder. At the same level, whether it is a monster or a warrior, there are different levels of strength. For example, a first-level monster is divided into 4 levels: ordinary, medium, peak, and top, and this iron-tailed tiger monster is a first-level peak monster, and those at the 9th level of body refining will stay away when they encounter it. If it is a top-notch first-level monster, its strength can even be comparable to that of a Qi Si realm warrior, and in Luo Xiu's perception, the life breath of this iron-tailed tiger monster was extremely strong, burning like a torch. At the same time, Luo Xiu also found several people hiding nearby. Although these people were well hidden, they could not hide their life breath and could not hide from Luo Xiu's perception. Whoosh! A ray of black light flew out of the sky, accompanied by the trembling of the bowstring. Luo Xiu squinted his eyes and could only vaguely see the flying black light, which was an arrow. These 6 people should be a hunting team, trying to hunt down this iron-tailed tiger monster. Luo Xiu thought to himself. Puff! The penetrating power of the arrow was extremely strong, and the iron-tailed tiger demon was unprepared. The relatively fragile neck was pierced by the arrow, and blood spattered. Ouch! The iron-tailed tiger demon roared angrily, and glanced around with a pair of scarlet eyes. He found the person who shot the arrow, and then roared and pounced on him immediately. Beasts suffer death. At this moment, a tall and sturdy man holding 2 axes rushed out from a nearby bush and faced the iron-tailed tiger demon. Immediately afterwards, other people hiding nearby also came out and besieged the first-level peak tiger monster. 5 people besiege and 1 person shoots with a long-range bow and arrow. This is the most commonly used hunting mode for the hunter team. Bang! The tiger demon flicked its tail, and the air made a crackling sound with its steel-like tail. The strong man at the head held 2 axes and resisted, but he flew backwards with a bang. His back hit a big tree, and blood bleeded from the corner of his mouth. Brother! Seeing the strongest man being knocked away as soon as he met him, the other 4 people suddenly screamed. Brothers, be careful of this beast's tail. The burly man roared, then charged towards the iron-tailed tiger demon again. This burly man's strength was at the 8th level of body refining. He slashed with 2 axes and fought with the iron-tailed tiger monster. Whoosh! 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 Black arrows flew out one after another, pointing directly at the vital part of the iron-tailed tiger demon's neck. However, the iron-tailed tiger demon was very fast. Except for the first arrow that sneaked in, the other arrows either missed, or even if they hit the tiger demon, they could not break through its tough fur. Puff! That the tiger demon pounced angrily and threw a warrior to the ground. His claws moved together and tore the man's body into a bloody mess. He died on the spot. As for other people's attacks, it swung its iron tail and swept them across, blocking them all. Hooligan! That the eyes of the burly man and others were about to burst. Chapter 14 The Ungrateful Man. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brother, be careful! That a voice suddenly came from the woods not far away, and it was the hidden archer who warned. After the iron-tailed tiger demon killed one person, it suddenly started to kill the burly man who was the strongest among them. Rumble. The iron-tailed tiger monster is very ferocious, and its sharp claws can easily tear apart a large tree. Although the burly and strong man is an 8th-level body-refining martial artist, he is still in danger in front of this monster. The attacks from others could only restrain the iron-tailed tiger demon to some extent. Ordinary weapons chopping on the body, making a clanging sound, were unable to cause enough damage to it, except for the initial sneak attack that hit the tiger demon's soft neck. The archer hiding in the dark never made any more achievements. Everyone, run away, this beast is too powerful. The burly man roared angrily and circulated the energy in his body to the extreme. I will cut off the queen. Mountain axe! That the burly man roared angrily, and the two axes brought out a cold light, and the sound of breaking wind was sharp and harsh, and struck hard at the forehead of the iron-tailed tiger demon. This axe is powerful and heavy, and it uses martial arts that has reached the 3rd level. Bang! That the tyrannical iron-tailed tiger demon felt as if he was struck by lightning, and his body flew backwards, with blood dripping from his forehead. However, the burly man also felt uncomfortable. He was swept away by the tiger demon's tail, and the bones in his waist were directly severed. The skin was torn and the flesh was bloody. Brother! Several other people exclaimed. Leave me alone, let's go. The burly man gritted his teeth and stood up, desperately trying to cover the retreat of his other brothers. Whoosh! 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 The archers were still responsible for containing the iron-tailed tiger demon's attack from a distance. This also allowed the burly man behind him to breathe a little relieved. Boom! That the burly man and the iron-tailed tiger demon had another head-on collision. The burly man was knocked away by the violent force on the spot, spurting out a large mouthful of blood. The iron-tailed tiger demon ignored the arrows that were shot at him, his scarlet eyes full of ferocity, and rushed towards the seriously injured burly man. All this happened in the blink of an eye. From the moment the man named Fei was killed by the iron-tailed tiger demon, it only took a dozen breaths. Although Luo Xiu had seen a lot of blood when he came to Xuanhuan mountain to practice hunting, this was the first time he saw someone being killed. Beasts suffer death. The Xuanbu movement technique was unfolded. Luo Xiu's figure was like a fleeting silhouette, and his feet flew towards the head of the iron-tailed tiger demon. Bang! A huge force was transmitted from the soles of his feet, and Luo Xiu's figure flew upside down, flipping over in mid-air and landing a few meters away. Roar! The iron-tailed tiger demon let out a painful roar, and stared at the human a few meters away with a pair of fierce eyes. It felt that its head was almost crushed by the human's kick just now. The burly and strong man thought that he would definitely die, but now he saw that the powerful iron-tailed tiger demon was looking at a young man who suddenly appeared with fear, and he was a little dazed for a moment. At this moment, the iron-tailed tiger demon's attention was attracted by Luo Xiu. The demonic beast was not only superior to the beast in terms of strength, but mainly in that they had initially possessed wisdom. Their intuition told it that this human boy was a threat to it. The burly man escaped and quickly ran to Luo Xiu's side to confront the iron-tailed tiger demon. Little brother, thank you for saving my life. My name is Yuan Dashan. The burly man said with cupped hands and fists. Kill this tiger monster first. Luo Xiu nodded. Roar! As soon as the two of them said something, the iron-tailed tiger demon had already pounced on him. Luo Xiu had already mastered the inch-step movement technique and quickly avoided it. Mountain Axe. Yuan Dashan once again used his martial arts skills and struck the tiger demon with his axe. With his 8th level of body training, he struck with all his strength and only left an inconspicuous wound. The body technique was unfolded every inch, and in Luo Xiu's eyes, the life veins of the iron-tailed tiger demon were completely visible. Tiger style, that I saw him suddenly ejecting into the air, his inner energy roaring and bringing up a gust of wind. Bang! This punch hit the tiger demon's head again, and a clicking sound was heard. The tiger demon roared in pain, and retreated continuously. Its steps were shaky, and stars were shining in its eyes. Yuan Dashan was stunned. He used his axe to chop with all his strength, but he only slightly injured the beast. And this boy looked to be only 14 or 15 years old, but his attack power was stronger than his own with his fists. Soaring dragon style. Luo Xiu's moves changed, his body rotated in mid-air, and his fists hit the tiger demon's head again as fast as thunder. Boom! Faced with this blow, the iron-tailed tiger demon had no time to react. He was hit by the most powerful Tinglong style in the dragon tiger fist. The life veins of his head were immediately severely damaged, and the hard skull was shattered on the spot. Ouch! The iron-tailed tiger demon let out a cry, and its huge body fell to the ground, dying. As expected of a first-level peak monster, I hit the same spot 3 times in a row before killing it. Luo Xiu knew very well that in terms of pure strength, he was far inferior to this tiger monster. His ability to kill the tiger monster depended entirely on his Deshang realm step-by-step skills and his special ability to damage life veins. Seeing the death of the iron-tailed tiger demon, the few people who had fled not far away also cautiously approached to meet Yuan Dashan. At this moment, Luo Xiu frowned and felt a dangerous aura. Since fusing the life and death beads, his perception has been extremely sharp, and he was immediately sure that the archer hiding in the dark was aiming at him. Brother, this boy's internal energy fluctuation seems to be at the 6th level of physical training. A Fei died for this tiger monster. We must not let the tiger monster's body fall into the hands of others. Several people whispered and talked with Yuan Dashan. Luo Xiu vaguely heard it, and immediately had a cold look on his face, and sneered, I killed this tiger monster. Humph, you were the one who killed it. If it weren't for our elder brother, how could you defeat this iron-tailed tiger monster with your 6th level body training? Someone said with a sneer. Wang Yun, shut up. If it hadn't been for this little brother just now, I would have died at the claws of this beast. Yuan Dashan shouted angrily. I saw him walking out, cupping his hands and fists towards Luo Xiu, and said, Little brother saved my life, Yuan Dashan. Don't dare to forget your life-saving grace. Naturally, this tiger monster is at your disposal. Luo Xiu nodded, somewhat impressed by Yuan Dashan. After all, the value of this iron-tailed tiger monster was at least tens of thousands of taels of silver. If these people really take action, Luo Xiu will not be afraid, but they will still be in trouble, so it would be good if they don't take action. This Yuan Dashan is an idiot. Wang Yun's eyes changed. In his opinion, even if this boy saved Yuan Dashan's life, he would not give up the value of an iron-tailed tiger monster. It is normal for a team of hunters to fight each other for the benefit of treasures, not to mention that the other party is just a boy at the 6th level of body refining. Let's go. Yuan Dashan bowed his hands to Luo Xiu, and then led a group of his men to lift the body of his companion and leave. Wang Yun, I know what you are thinking, but I would like to advise you. That boy can kill the iron-tailed tiger demon by no means easily. He might be a disciple of a certain family in Qingyun City, and we cannot provoke him. Yuan Dashan glanced at Wang Yun beside him and said coldly, what's more, he saved my life. How can we, martial arts practitioners, be ungrateful? Yes, that's what elder brother taught me. Wang Yun said, but he was not convinced in his heart. The other people in the team also looked a little tired and lonely. The hunt for the iron-tailed tiger demon this time could be said to have been a disastrous failure. Not only one person died, but in the end nothing good was gained. After a while, the team found a safe area to rest and recuperate. Yuan Dashan sat down with his back against a big tree and tore open the clothes around his waist. A large area of blood and flesh was visible. Fortunately, it was only a skin injury and no bones were broken. He took out the golden sore medicine he carried and applied it on it, and said to himself, I don't know who that young man is. He is obviously at the 6th level of body refining, but he can kill the iron-tailed tiger demon with 2 punches. Huh. Where are Wang Yun and Xuanhuan? It took less than half an hour for Yuan Dashan to recover from his injuries, but found that there were only 2 people left in the team besides him. Wang Yun said he was going to see if there was any prey nearby. Someone replied. Oops. Yuan Dashan's expression suddenly changed. With his experience and understanding of Wang Yun, how could he not guess what was fishy here? Wang Yun must be coveting the materials from the iron-tailed tiger demon, so he took Xuanhuan with him to kill people and seize the treasure. Something big is going to happen, that the body of the iron-tailed tiger demon was so big that Luo Xiu couldn't take it all away. Infusing Qinfeng's sword with inner energy, he first peeled off the tiger skin. This tiger skin was relatively complete, with only 1 or 2 gaps made by the axe, and could be sold for a good price. In addition, there are tiger bones, painstaking efforts, and tiger teeth. The most valuable one is naturally the tail of the tiger demon. It is also known as the iron tail, which is a material for making low-level warriors of the human class. All the valuable materials were collected, especially the tiger skin, which filled Luo Xiu's package. He looked up at the sky. He probably wouldn't be able to return to Qingyun City before sunset. He would have to spend the night in the forest and wait until the early morning of the next day before heading back. There are not many monsters in Xuewu Mountain, mainly wild beasts. However, if it comes at night, there will be many dangers in this mountain forest, so Luo Xiu must find a safe place to stay before dark. Stretch. That the sound of a bowstring trembling was very clear in the silent mountain forest. Luo Xiu's pupils shrank slightly and he felt a strong wind flying towards his head from behind. His body moved sideways, and an arrow hit the tree trunk next to him with a bang, and its feathers trembled. As the perception spread, Luo Xiu discovered 2 breaths of life. Not far away, a short, dark-faced young man was holding a long bow, with the bow drawn full of the moon, looking at him indifferently. At the same time, a figure also walked out from the other side. It was the Wang Yun whom he had seen before. What do you 2 mean by this? Luo Xiu asked coldly. Boy, you don't have to act stupid. Leave your package and sword, and we will let you go. Wang Yun said with a sneer, holding a sword in his hand. What if I don't stay? Luo Xiu's eyes flashed with coldness. Logically speaking, he saved these people, but he didn't expect these guys to be so shameless and ungrateful. Chapter 15 Killing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, in Luo Xiu's perception, only Wang Yun and the archer were present, and Yuan Dashan and the other 2 did not appear nearby. After thinking about it for a moment, Luo Xiu realized that it was probably these 2 people who acted secretly and wanted to kill people and seize the treasure. The things on the iron-tailed tiger demon are worth tens of thousands of taels of silver, so it is certainly worth the risk for a body-refining realm warrior. There was archer Xuanhuan in front, and Wang Yun was watching behind him. The 2 of them were attacking from a pincer, which was a plan that made Luo Xiu unable to take care of both ends, except for the team leader Yuan Dashan, who is at the 8th level of body training. Wang Yun and Xuanhuan are only at the 7th level of body training. Having spent a long time fighting wild beasts and monsters in the deep mountains and swamps, Wang Yun was certainly not a fool. He knew very well that this young man in black must have extraordinary means to kill the iron-tailed tiger monster, but monsters are different from humans. Humans do not have the inherently hard fur of monsters and are easier to kill than monsters. This is why Wang Yun and Xuanhuan dared to rob and kill him. Robbery? Ha ha ha. Luo Xiu suddenly laughed. Boy, why are you laughing? As long as you keep your package and sword, I promise not to embarrass you. Wang Yun shouted coldly. Although he said this, Wang Yun had no intention of letting the opponent go from the beginning to the end. A young man who could kill the iron-tailed tiger demon with the 6th level of body refining must have an extraordinary background. Once he was unable to kill the opponent, he was afraid that the capital of Qinyun city there will no longer be a place for oneself. Therefore, he and Xuanhuan had already discussed that no matter whether the young man in black was willing to hand over the things or not, he must kill him at all costs. If you want something from me, are you worthy of ungrateful trash like you? Luo Xiu said with disdain. You ungrateful thing, since you are seeking death, you can't blame us. Wang Yun laughed angrily, and with a clang, the sharp sword in his hand was unsheathed, and his body skills were unfolded. The long sword brought out a cold light and charged towards Luo Xiu. At the same time, the archer Xuanhuan also took action immediately, and black arrows flew one after another. Afterimage sword. The long sword in Wang Yun's hand brought up a series of afterimages, and what he performed was a third-level swordsmanship-type martial skill, in addition to the extremely expensive internal skills of third-level martial arts and body skills can still be purchased in Qinyun city. For warriors, martial arts is extremely important, so every hunter will try his best to buy high-level martial arts. Learn and improve your own strength. Therefore, third-level martial arts are very common among hunters. Wang Yun's sword struck Luo Xiu's shoulder. He was very confident in his attack. Although his cultivation was not as good as that of team leader Yuan Dashan, he had already cultivated the afterimage sword to a small level of success. Luo Xiu has never practiced third-grade martial arts, but after the second-grade martial arts is improved and upgraded, it will still surpass the ordinary third-grade martial arts. The Deshang realm's Zunbu movement technique was deployed, and all the black arrows flying from a distance missed, not even a corner of his clothes. Immediately afterwards, his figure swayed slightly and appeared in front of Wang Yun in an instant. What a fast speed! How could he be so fast for a sixth-level body-refining warrior? Wang Yun was shocked and flew away with the afterimage sword, unable to touch Luo Xiu at all. Oops! He quickly retracted his move, shook his long sword, brought up an afterimage, and slashed at Luo Xiu in front of him again. I'll see how you dodge this time. The two were very close at this moment, and Wang Yun concluded that the young man in black would definitely not be able to dodge this sword. Tiger style. Luo Xiu suddenly took action, and the aura on his body also changed instantly, as if he transformed into a ferocious tiger beast, with violent aura rushing out. Bang! Before Wang Yun's long sword fell on Luo Xiu, a violent force suddenly spread throughout his body. Puff! Wang Yun flew backwards, his chest was in severe pain, and all his bones were broken. How can this be? Could it be that he was the iron-tailed tiger demon that was killed with this move? The tiger style is clearly a move in the dragon tiger fist. When did it become so powerful? Wang Yun's blood spurted out wildly, and his body hit a big tree hard. He really couldn't imagine that a person at the 6th level of body refining could actually exert such power with the 2nd level martial arts dragon and tiger fist. Suddenly, he thought of a possibility: his body skills and boxing skills. Could it be said that he has reached the state of great success? However, as soon as this idea appeared in Wang Yun's mind, he saw a fist enlarging in his sight and getting closer and closer. No! Wang Yun was filled with regretting why he didn't listen to the leader's advice and insisted on kidnapping and killing this young man in black. He let out a roar. He didn't want to die like this, but the next moment, he was punched in the forehead. The violent and overbearing force directly shattered his skull, bleeding from 7 holes, and he died on the spot. Luo Xiu's figure did not pause at all. After killing Wang Yun, he immediately dodged. 2 arrows shot into the soil, exactly where he was standing just now. Xuanhuan's archery skills were certainly good, but facing the Deshang realm's Zunbu movement technique, he couldn't achieve anything at all and couldn't hurt Luo Xiu in the slightest. Wang Yun is dead. The moment he saw his companion being killed by Luo Xiu, Xuanhuan's pupils shrank suddenly. When 2 consecutive arrows failed, he made a quick decision, put away his bow and arrow, turned around and left. His movement skills are too terrifying. My archery skills are useless. Once he gets close, I will definitely die. Xuanhuan knew very well that Wang Yun was killed with his help, and the opponent's strength was completely beyond his own. Imagine. Did you run away? Luo Xiu's mouth had a dangerous arc. He jumped up and quickly jumped on the big tree branches in the forest to catch up. With his Deshang realm body skills, his speed was much faster than Xuanhuan's, and the distance between the two sides kept getting closer. Since joining the hunting team, Xuanhuan has been in Xuanhuan Mountain for more than half a year. He shuttled through the thorns and bushes, hiding his whereabouts as much as possible. He looked back and saw that there was nothing behind him. He couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief, but he still felt a little palpitated. It's too scary. He couldn't imagine that a boy who was only 14 or 15 years old could be so powerful. Wang Yun was killed in just one encounter. His archery skills, which he had always been proud of, could not even touch him. I couldn't even touch the corners of my clothes. Pa! 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 The sound of footsteps stepping on the tree trunks came closer and closer. Xuanhuan, who was hiding in the bushes, suddenly became nervous. Is he catching up? Xuanhuan looked intently and locked onto a figure dressed in black. Xuanhuan suddenly became nervous, holding the long bow tightly with his left hand. How did he know that I was escaping this way? In the process of escaping, he changed directions many times just to avoid being tracked, but the other party still chased him, which made him feel even more anxious. Within the range of Luo Xiu's perception, although Xuanhuan thought he was hiding well, to Luo Xiu, it was tantamount to covering his ears and stealing the bell. As the distance between the two parties narrowed, Xuanhuan's eyes gradually became fierce. Maybe he just happened to catch up here. I am hiding here, and there is no way he can see it. While thinking about it, he took out an arrow coated with poison, opened the bow to the full moon, and quietly circulated his inner energy. Stretch! The bowstring suddenly trembled, and the arrow flew out like a black light, with a sharp whistle through the air. However, Xuanhuan didn't know that Luo Xiu had been prepared. He stepped lightly on the branches of the tree with his feet, moved sideways, and the arrow stuck to his clothes and embedded into the trunk with a bang. Hide! Hide! Xuanhuan was shocked. Immediately afterwards, the sound of the sword being unsheathed was heard, and only a cold light flashed in his sight. He landed on the ground and looked at Xuanhuan, who was lying in a pool of blood with a look of reluctance and wide eyes. Luo Xiu had no mercy. After all, in this world where the jungle prevails, mercy is seeking death when facing someone who wants to kill him. It was already getting late, so Luo Xiu spent another night practicing in Xuanhuan Mountain, absorbing the life essence of the vegetation in the mountains and forests, steadily improving his cultivation, and tempering his internal organs. The next morning, when he returned to Qinyan City, he found 2 packages bulging and heavy. There are shops in the city that specialize in purchasing various materials. Luo Xiu directly found one of them and planned to sell the collected materials. All kinds of beast materials plus the iron-tailed tiger demon were sold, and he received a total of more than 30,000 taels of silver. With money on hand, Luo Xiu's first consideration is naturally how to improve his strength. As long as his cultivation reaches the 7th level of body refining, his strength will definitely increase greatly, and he can hunt monsters and earn more money. Chapter 16. The assessment begins, and it's a blockbuster. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With more than 30,000 taels of silver in his arms, Luo Xiu once again came to the shop selling formation devices. Because he had been hunting and fighting in Xuanhuan Mountain in recent days, Luo Xiu's clothes were torn in many places, and he was incompatible with the richly dressed people who came in and out of this shop. Shopkeeper, bring me a first-order spirit-gathering array device. Luo Xiu walked into the store and said directly. The middle-aged shopkeeper behind the counter was slightly startled. Sir, do you really want to buy it? The first-level spirit-gathering array costs 10,000 taels of silver. Obviously, the shopkeeper didn't think this ragged young man could afford it. Luo Xiu didn't say much, took out the banknote and threw it on the counter. Seeing the thick stack of silver notes, the middle-aged shopkeeper suddenly smiled and nodded repeatedly. Yes, yes, sir, please wait a moment, I will get it for you right now. After a while, the middle-aged shopkeeper came out holding an exquisite round wooden box and said, Sir, this is the first-order spirit-gathering array you want. The wooden box is opened, and inside is a disc with complex patterns engraved on it. In the center of the disc, there is a card slot. In addition, there are simple instructions for use on the lid of the wooden box. You want to use the vitality stone to open it? Luo Xiu frowned. You may not know this. Most of the auxiliary formation devices require vitality stones to be opened. Only some combat-type formation devices are a little different. The store manager said with a smile. Snapped. Luo Xiu took out another 10,000 taels of silver notes and threw it on the counter, saying, "Do you have any vitality stones here? Give me a few." The middle-aged shopkeeper was overjoyed. He had no idea that the humble young man in front of him would be so generous, and he quickly ordered someone to fetch the vitality stone. Soon, another wooden box arrived, containing 20 round or stones the size of a palm, scattered with a milky white halo. Luo Xiu put away his things and was about to leave when two people walked into the store. These two people are a man and a woman. The man is wearing white clothes. He looks like a rich man at first glance, with a condescending arrogance on his eyebrows. The woman is wearing a blue dress, has bright eyes, white teeth, attractive red lips, slender figure, and fair skin. Luo Xiu was slightly startled when he saw these two people. They were Luo Xiu and Su Fei. Luo Xiu. Luo Xiu was a little surprised to see him, because as far as she knew, Luo Xiu couldn't afford any formation device in this shop based on his conditions. "Humph, your clothes are in such tatters, how dare you come here to embarrass yourself?" Su Fei snorted with disdain on his face. However, Luo Xiu ignored Su Fei and walked past them and left the shop. Seeing Luo Xiu dare to ignore him, Su Fei's eyes turned cold. "Stop. What's wrong with you?" Luo Xiu looked back, frowning, a little impatient. "Didn't you hear me talking to you?" Su Fei said coldly. "Why should I hear it?" Luo Xiu smiled disdainfully, turned around and left. "Bastard!" Su Fei was furious, but Luo Xiu had already gone away and ignored his meaning. Su Fei wanted to teach this poor boy a lesson, but with Luo Xiu by his side, he had to maintain his grace, so he could only endure it. The annual assessment is only half a month away. I want to see how you can be that Zhang Hai's opponent. After walking out of the formation shop, Luo Xiu went to the weapons shop again and sold Wang Yun's sword and Zhang Hun's bow and arrows, giving him more than 800 taels of silver. Immediately afterwards, Luo Xiu went to the elixir shop and spent 15,000 taels of silver to buy a bottle of qi-nourishing elixir. However, Luo Xiu did not return to the martial palace, but walked out of Qingyun city and came to Xuanhuan mountain again. The mountains and rivers here are beautiful and there are a lot of vegetation. For Luo Xiu, it is more suitable for him to practice than in the martial palace. Finding a secluded place, Luo Xiu sat cross-legged. He first took out the spirit-gathering array disc device and put a vitality stone in the central groove. The lines engraved on it suddenly lit up and emitted a faint light. Luo Xiu could clearly sense that the vitality of the nearby heaven and earth seemed to be drawn by some mysterious force and quickly gathered towards his location. This is the magical function of the spirit-gathering array, which can condense the vitality of heaven and earth and speed up the cultivation speed of warriors within a certain range. Luo Xiu immediately took out another qi-nourishing pill, put one in his mouth, then closed his eyes, and performed the muscle changing in bone strengthening technique on the meridians and acupuncture points in his body. The vital energy of heaven and earth, the essence of plants and trees, the power of elixirs, and the pure internal energy are condensed in the body, turned into the polar energy of life and death, and refined into the internal organs. Unknowingly, the sky became dark, and Luo Xiu had been practicing here for a day. Luo Xiu could clearly feel that his heart was beating more powerfully, and the power contained in his body was getting stronger and stronger. Boom! A surging power emerged in his body, and Luo Xiu suddenly opened his eyes with a happy face. Success, 7th level of body refining. It was getting dark now. Luo Xiu stood up and stretched his muscles, feeling that his strength had improved a lot. Luo Xiu also didn't expect that it only took him one day to break through the bottleneck of the 7th level of body refining. As far as he knew, other people of the same age, especially those disciples from aristocratic families, had better training conditions than him, but they also had to use it would take half a year, or even longer, to achieve this step. It should be that the life and death pearl improved my body, so it doubled my cultivation speed countless times. Luo Xiu thought this way. This practice consumed 2 qi-nourishing pills, and the first-level spirit-gathering array consumed 2 vitality stones. In addition to the vegetation essence absorbed by inhalation, this power would have taken others at least several months. Only time can refine it. However, Luo Xiu can refine it in a very short period of time, so his cultivation level can be improved so quickly. Of course, apart from the impact of the life and death pearl on the body, the effect of his improved gene bone strengthening technique is even better than the third-grade internal power. In the following time, Luo Xiu never returned to the martial palace. He always practiced in Xuanhuan mountain. He went out to hunt during the day, tempered himself by fighting monsters, and devoted himself to hard training at night. Unconsciously, time passed quietly, and Qingyun City Martial Hall ushered in the annual assessment. Students who reach the age of 14 in the junior class and 17 in the intermediate class must take an assessment. If they pass the assessment, they will be promoted. If they fail the assessment, they will leave the martial palace. In the vast martial arts performance field, there are thousands of martial arts students gathered together, in small groups, talking and noisy. On the competition stage that is more than 3 meters high, a table is placed in the center, with a crystal-like sphere on the table. This crystal ball is a formation device used to test cultivation. As long as the inner energy is poured into it, the crystal ball will emit light. Based on the brightness of the light, the cultivation level can be roughly determined. Many students who are about to take the assessment are anxious, but those who meet the requirements are calm and composed. Luo Xiu also rushed back from Xuanhuan mountain. He first went back to his residence to take a shower and changed into clean clothes, and then came to the assessment location. Many martial hall students are naturally familiar with Luo Xiu. It is said that as early as 2 months ago, he had reached the 5th level of body refining and could defeat the students in the intermediate class. Passing this assessment will naturally be no problem. But the fight between Zhang Hai and Luo Xiu has been known to everyone for a long time, so when they saw Luo Xiu coming over, many people started talking. This Luo Xiu is so courageous. Zhang Hai is a genius in the intermediate class. I heard that he was in retreat some time ago and has reached the 8th level of body training. Who says it's not the case? If Teacher Lu hadn't protected this Luo Xiu, Zhang Hai would have beaten him into a disability long ago. I heard that Zhang Haixu has reached the 8th level of body training and should be promoted to the advanced class. However, in order to avenge his brother, he did not plan to take part in this assessment. He waited for Luo Xiu to advance to the intermediate class and then gave him a harsh lesson. This Luo Xiu has disappeared for a long time. He must have been afraid, so he hid. For most people, no one thinks that Luo Xiu can be Zhang Hai's opponent, but Luo Xiu faced the comments, ridicules, and questions around him, but he was calm, relaxed, and comfortable. People couldn't help but wonder, doesn't this guy know that Zhang Hai is already at the 8th level of body refining? Quiet. At this moment, a voice suddenly came from the martial arts field. Everyone followed the sound and saw a middle-aged man wearing a blue robe standing on the competition stage, scanning the surroundings. Those who participate in this year's assessment, come out. Many martial arts students stopped talking and making noise, and figures, including Luo Xiu, stepped out. Among the crowd behind, cold eyes stared at Luo Xiu's back. Brother, he will be a student in the intermediate class after passing the examination. When the time comes for you to compete with him, Teacher Wu Jian will have no reason to stop him from intervening. You must help me teach him a lesson. Zhang Hao said through gritted teeth. Zhang Hao felt even more humiliated whenever he remembered that he had been severely beaten by a poor boy whom he had always looked down upon. Don't worry, I would rather not be promoted to the advanced class this time, but I will definitely help you get revenge. Zhang Hai nodded and said, although it is said that the 8th level of physical training is already qualified to advance to the advanced class, Zhang Hai is only 15 years old this year and is not in a hurry. Even some of the benefits that can be enjoyed by the advanced class can be easily obtained with the background of the Zhang family. The elder Wu Jian who presided over the assessment had a list in his hand and said indifferently, the first one, Yun Tong. Yes. A girl from the junior class came out, stepped onto the competition stage, and placed her palm on the crystal ball. Buzz. Along with a wave of tremors, the crystal ball bloomed with brilliant brilliance. Yuntong, if you pass the assessment at the 5th level of body refining, you can be promoted to the intermediate class. The elder in charge of the assessment announced with a smile and a nod. Upon hearing the confirmation from the assessment elder, the girl named Yuntong breathed a sigh of relief. There were many envious eyes in the audience, especially those who were not sure of passing the assessment. Immediately afterwards, the assessment elder read out the names one by one, and more than a dozen people came to the stage for assessment, including those from the beginner class and some from the intermediate class. However, there were only 3 people who passed the assessment, and all the others were eliminated. Pack your things and leave the Martial Palace within 3 days. As more and more people failed to pass the examination, the atmosphere became a little tense. Those students who failed the examination could only cry and look sad, while those disciples from aristocratic families not far away who were divided into groups had expressions on their faces. Disdain, ridicule, and schadenfreude. Next, Luo Xiu. On the competition stage, the assessment elder read out this name. In an instant, countless eyes focused on the young man in black. The name Luo Xiu was quite popular in the martial arts palace some time ago. His cultivation level soared to the 5th level of body refining in a short period of time, and even the students in the intermediate class were no match for him. Stepping onto the competition stage, Luo Xiu looked at the crowd below and saw Zhang Hai and Zhang Hao beside him. Behind the 2 brothers stood Lu Feng and others, looking at him with eyes filled with excitement. With a chill. Especially Zhang Hai's eyes were filled with arrogant disdain and indifference. For him who had already broken through to the 8th level of body refining, even if Luo Xiu could pass this test, he was destined to be destroyed by himself and then be killed. Expelled from the martial palace. A sneer appeared at the corner of Luo Xiu's mouth. He wanted to see what these guys' expressions would be like when they saw that their cultivation had reached the 7th level of body refining. He slowly raised his palm and placed it on the crystal ball, pouring the energy of life and death into it. Buzz! A bright light suddenly lit up, more dazzling and eye-catching than the light caused by anyone before. Chapter 17 The Lord of the Martial Palace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 9th level of body refining. The assessment elder suddenly stood up, his face full of shock, but then he regained his composure. It's not the 9th level of body refining, it's the 7th level of body refining. Seeing the surprised look of the assessment elder, the crowd under the competition stage fell into silence, and everyone was stunned. I saw the assessment elder looking at Luo Xiu, still with surprise in his eyes. What a pure and strong inner energy. The 7th level of body refining is almost as good as the 9th level of body refining. Even I almost got it wrong. Among the crowd below, the expressions of Zhang Hai, Lu Feng and others were even more exciting. Their jaws almost dropped to the ground in shock, their faces full of disbelief. Is this fucking fake? 3 months ago, his cultivation level was lower than mine, but he is actually at the 7th level of body refining. And his inner energy is pure and strong, comparable to the 9th level of body refining. That this evaluation is not a low one, it means that Luo Xiu almost has the strength to keep pace with the 9th level body refining warrior. After the deathly silence, the whole place was in an uproar. Many people sucked in the air or swallowed their saliva. Especially those who knew Luo Xiu were even more shocked. It took 3 months to go from the 2nd level to the 7th level of body refining. This speed of cultivation is unavoidable. Isn't it too scary? 5 small realms have been promoted in 3 months. Even though the Qingyun City Martial Palace has been standing for more than 800 years, it has never appeared. Lu Yusen was also in the crowd, and her eyes became extremely complicated at this moment. Recalling that she had recommended him to be a guard at the Lu family in the library, no wonder Luo Xiu dismissed it. With such an astonishing cultivation speed, who would be willing to devote himself to being a servant? So what if the 7th level of body refining is good? I will destroy you today. Zhang Hai's eyes flashed with sharp light. Although the assessment elder said that Luo Xiu's inner energy was comparable to the 9th level of body refining, he was still very confident. Luo Xiu stood on the stage, feeling quite emotional, remembering that he was just a poor boy from a commoner background and was looked down upon by others. Have you ever thought that you would have a day when everyone would be in the spotlight and you would be so high-spirited? Luo Xiu walked down from the competition stage amid complex glances of envy or suspicion. The assessment continued. After Luo Xiu passed the assessment, some more people came on stage. The elimination rate was astonishing. There are only 5 people in the junior class who have passed the assessment, including Luo Xiu. As for the assessment for the intermediate class to advance to the advanced class, the elimination rate is even higher, with only 1 person passing, because the further you get to the back, the more difficult it is to improve your cultivation. This annual assessment is over. The assessment elder announced loudly, and then left the martial arts field. However, the crowd surrounding them did not disperse, because almost everyone knew that there would be a competition after this annual assessment. Luo Xiu, that a cold shout echoed in the air, and a figure jumped up and landed on the competition stage, standing proudly with his hands behind his back. This person is none other than Xuanhuan. Teacher Lu came forward last time. Now you and I are both students in the intermediate class. Do you dare to come up and fight? After these words were spoken, everyone's eyes focused on Luo Xiu again. Hey, this Luo Xiu, a poor boy from a commoner background, has made such a big splash. Let's see what he does this time. Advance to 5 realms in 3 months, but high cultivation does not mean high strength. What's more, Xuanhuan is at the 8th level of body refining, which is higher than him. Yes, I don't believe he can improve so quickly. I heard that some methods can quickly improve his cultivation level in a short period of time, but it will damage the body and affect his future martial arts advancement. Many people were talking about it. Although Luo Xiu shocked everyone in the annual assessment, no one still thought that he was Xuanhuan's opponent. Amid many eyes full of envy, jealousy, and gloating, Luo Xiu stepped onto the competition stage. The one who was envious was naturally the fact that he had broken through 5 realms in just 3 months and was highly praised by the assessment elders. The one who was gloating was of course this poor boy who was in the limelight and was about to be severely beaten by Xuanhuan, who was at the 8th level of body refining. Teach a lesson. Seeing Luo Xiu walking onto the competition stage, Xuanhuan's eyes flashed with cold eyes. He has always regarded himself as a genius, reaching the 8th level of body refining at the age of 15, and is known to be able to become a Qihai realm warrior before the age of 18. Luo Xiu, don't think that you are qualified to compete with me at the 7th level of body training. I will let you understand how big the gap between us is. Xuanhuan said with a sneer. Now even if you kneel down and beg for mercy, I will not let you go. You are destined to spend your life in bed. A cruel smile appeared at the corner of Xuanhuan's mouth. He wanted to destroy all the meridians and muscles in this boy's body, making him a cripple for the rest of his life and unable to practice martial arts. You want to destroy me? Say it again. Luo Xiu stared at Xuanhuan coldly. I just want to destroy you, a lowly waste like you. As long as I don't kill you, the martial palace will not punish me. Xuanhuan smiled disdainfully, with a fierce look in his eyes. He took a step forward, leaped up, and faced Luo Xiu rushed towards him. Luo Xiu's body moved slightly to the left, and Xuanhuan's offensive failed instantly. Xuanhuan quickly changed his moves, attacking like a violent storm, attacking one after another crazily, but Luo Xiu kept his hands behind his back from the beginning to the end. No matter how fierce his offensive was, he could not touch a piece of his clothes. For a time, dust was flying on the competition stage. Is this Luo Xiu's movement skills so exquisite? Is he already at the level of Xiaocheng? With Xuanhuan's strength, he can't even touch a corner of his clothes. I guess this Luo Xiu's body skills are almost perfect. I didn't expect Luo Xiu to be so powerful. Maybe he can really defeat Xuanhuan. It's a joke, it's just that he can hide. If there is a head-on confrontation, Luo Xiu will definitely be knocked out. A lot of people gathered near the competition stage, and the people's comments reached Xuanhuan's ears on the stage, making him feel ashamed and angry. Asshole! Do you only know how to hide? You are a coward! Xuanhuan roared, raised his leg and swept across, kicking Luo Xiu's head. Bang! This time Luo Xiu did not dodge, but raised his hand to block the blow. Seeing this scene, Xuanhuan felt happy, and immediately changed his tactics and shouted angrily, "Mountain-breaking palm." Luo Xiu looked disdainful, his aura suddenly changed, and he punched out. Not good. Xuanhuan was shocked and felt a ferocious and violent aura coming from Luo Xiu's body, which was extremely depressing. Tamarind style. Bang! A fierce force came, and Xuanhuan felt severe pain in his palm, and his body flew backwards. Wow! While in mid-air, Xuanhuan spurted out a mouthful of blood and fell 5 or 6 meters away, throwing up a cloud of dust and making stars appear in his eyes. Is this how you cripple me? Luo Xiu sneered disdainfully on the competition stage. This is impossible. Xuanhuan stood up unsteadily, his mouth full of blood, his face ferocious. How could I lose to you, a pariah? Go to hell. Xuanhuan roared, stepped out, and slapped Luo Xiu fiercely with his palms. He couldn't tolerate being a genius defeated by a boy from a humble background. Don't overestimate your capabilities. Luo Xiu did not dodge, and directly grabbed Xuanhuan's wrist with his reach. No matter how Xuanhuan circulated his inner energy, he tried to free Luo Xiu's hands, but all his inner energy was dissolved into nothingness. His wrists seemed to be clamped by iron pliers, and the pain was unbearable. How is this possible? Is his inner energy really comparable to the 9th level of body refining? Xuanhuan's heart was filled with waves, and he only felt a surging inner energy impacting his meridians and muscles. Crack! The sound of bones breaking was heard, and before Xuanhuan could scream, Luo Xiu kicked him hard in the chest. Bang! Xuanhuan's body flew backwards 5 to 6 meters away and fell to the ground, stirring up a cloud of dust. There is no enmity between me and you Zhang brothers, but you provoke me again and again, just like annoying flies. How about it? How does it feel to be stepped on by the trash you talk about? Looking at Xuanhuan, who fell to the ground with a face full of pain, Luo Xiu's eyes flashed with a cold light. You, what are you going to do? Xuanhuan felt the dangerous aura from Luo Xiu's body, and suddenly became panicked. What am I going to do? Of course I'll retaliate in kind, destroy your cultivation, and let you lie in bed for the rest of your life. Luo Xiu sneered. How dare you? My father is the head of the Zhang family. If you dare to touch me, you will definitely die. Xuanhuan roared with a ferocious face. However, Luo Xiu was not moved at all. He even dared to kill people in Xuanhuan mountain. Bang! He punched Xuanhuan's body, and the energy of life and death poured into the opponent's body, destroying his life veins. Xuanhuan screamed in an instant, the meridians on his body burst apart, his face turned pale, and the corners of his mouth bleed. Don't you look down on common people? Now you are a useless person, even worse than the untouchables you despise most. Feel free to feel what it feels like to be looked down upon by others. Luo Xiu's eyes were full of indifference. He turned around and walked off the competition stage. At this moment, the crowd watching under the competition stage was already dead silent, especially when they saw that Luo Xiu was so ruthless and directly destroyed Xuanhuan. Everyone stayed away from him, looking at him with eyes full of fear and fear. Elder brother. Xuanhuan ran up to the competition stage and shouted, "Here comes someone." But no matter how much he shouted, no one came to help. Even the civilians who usually hung out with their brothers looked indifferent at the moment. Since Xuanhuan is already a useless person, it is naturally not worthy of them to do anything else. Far away from the competition stage, on an attic, 2 figures stood side by side, taking in a panoramic view of the competition just now. One of the figures was none other than the elder who was responsible for the assessment. His name was Xuanhuan, and he was one of the few innate martial arts masters in Qingyun City. The figure standing side by side with Xuanhuan is a middle-aged man with a kind face, wearing a loose white robe. Elder Xuan, do you think this Luo's body cultivation at the 7th level is comparable to the 9th level of body cultivation? The man in white robe said. Yes, Palace Master. According to the investigation, this Luo Xiu was still at the 2nd level of body refining 3 months ago. His cultivation has improved by leaps and bounds in recent times, but what he has practiced is just ordinary second-level martial arts. Xuanhuan said respectfully. There is naturally only one person in the entire Qingyun city who can be treated with such respect by Elder Xuan, the innate martial artist, and address him as the palace master, and that is the highest authority in the Qingyun city martial palace, the master of the martial palace. In Qingyun city, the forces are complex, including the Hunters Guild, the Formation Master Guild, the Alchemist Guild, and the Caster Guild. However, the real master of Qingyun city is the Lord of the Martial Palace. Yunlong County is the sphere of influence of Xiaoyao sect and is the master of this land. The martial arts halls in every city are also created by Xiaoyao sect, and Qingyun city is just one of hundreds of cities in Yunlong County. A child born from a commoner can reach this level. He is indeed a rare genius. We can focus on cultivating him. The master of the martial arts palace said with a smile. Chapter 18 The Top 3 Pure Yang Skills. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qingyun City, the residence of the Zhang family. What a vicious heart. He broke all the meridians in Hai'er's body. Damn it. Damn it. A middle-aged man wearing luxurious brocade clothes smashed the wooden table to pieces with a furious palm, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Dad, you must make the decision for your elder brother. Xuanhuan knelt on the ground and cried bitterly. You bastard, if you weren't so domineering in the martial arts hall and causing trouble everywhere, how could your elder brother have been in this disaster? The middle-aged man kicked Xuanhuan 4 to 5 meters away, his beard and hair flying like a furious head. Lion, he is the head of the Zhang family in Qingyun City, Zhang Xiaoxiong. Zhang Hai is the most outstanding genius among the younger generations of the Zhang family. The family has devoted all their efforts in cultivating him. He has reached the 8th level of physical training at the age of 15 and has a bright future, but now, the genius that the family placed great hope on has become a waste. How can Zhang Xiaoxiong live calmly? In the family, his brothers have been eyeing the position of the head of the family for many years, and they may use this matter to make trouble and pose a threat to his position. According to the rules of the martial palace, those at the 5th level of body training can go to the library pavilion to choose 3 second-level martial arts, corresponding to internal strength, body skills, and martial arts. If your cultivation level reaches the 7th level of body training, you can enter the library and choose a 3rd-level martial arts. If you reach the 8th or 9th level of body training, you can choose another one. The muscle refining and bone refining technique is the 2nd-grade internal skill that Luo Xiu selected in the library pavilion last time. However, this internal skill is most suitable for the muscle refining and bone tempering stage from the 4th level to the 6th level of body training. He has now reached the 7th level of body training. If he continues to practice this internal skill, the effect will be greatly reduced. Therefore, after the fight with Zhang Hai, Luo Xiu went directly to the library pavilion. This time, he did not encounter any obstruction or difficulty. Oh. In just 2 months, you have already reached the 7th level of body refining? The elder in green shirt guarding the library looked surprised. Even for some good martial arts geniuses, it would take a year and a half to achieve this step. Yes, elder, I just passed the assessment. Luo Xiu said, while releasing his aura. Well, it is indeed the 7th level of body training. You can go to the 2nd floor to choose 3rd-level martial arts, but you can only choose one: internal strength, body skills, and martial arts. Which one you want to choose is up to you. Elder Qin Shan confirmed his after cultivating. He nodded, and said. Luo Xiu thanked him and walked into the library. I didn't expect that our Qingyun City Martial Hall would produce a good genius. I wonder how far he can go. Elder Qin Shan looked at Luo Xiu's back, thoughtfully. There are 3 floors in the library. The 1st floor has the largest number of martial art secrets, all of which are 1st grade and a few 2nd grade. The 2nd level contains 3rd-level martial arts, and the 3rd level contains 4th-level martial arts. However, the 3rd level is never open to the public and is a forbidden area in the library. Climbing to the 2nd floor of the library, Luo Xiu was surprised to find that there were only 3 rows of bookshelves, and there were only dozens of martial arts secret books in total. In comparison, the first level and second level martial arts included in the first level add up to hundreds. It seems that third level martial arts is much more valuable. Luo Xiu thought. Split the mountain and break the mountain palm, Qingfeng sword technique, swift wind sword technique, Luiyue sword technique, Xuanhuan stick technique. There are 3 rows of bookshelves, corresponding to internal strength, martial arts, and body skills. The violent wind sword technique uses a wide range of moves to oppress the opponent with a ferocious attack. Wandering dragon sword technique, combined with body skills to win by cleverness, focusing on moves. After screening, Luo Xiu selected one among more than a dozen third-grade internal skills, called Pure Yang skill. Pure Yang Kung is the top level 3 internal Kung Fu, and even Luo Xiu's improved tendon and bone forging Kung is still far behind it, but there is an introduction on the first page of Chunyang Gong. This internal skill is difficult to practice because the meridians and acupuncture points involved are very complicated. In the 800 years since the establishment of Qingyun City Martial Hall, there are only 3 people. I have mastered this internal skill, however, once it can be practiced. It is said that the training effect of Pure Yang Gong can be compared with the general 4th grade internal strength. The advantage of Pure Yang Kung is that it condenses and refines inner energy faster, and the inner energy produced is more pure, condensed and thick. After integrating the life and death pearl, my physique has changed. Just as the assessment elder said, my inner chi is comparable to the 9th level of body training at the 7th level of body training. If I practice this Pure Yang skill again, then my inner chi will be at the same level. On the one hand, it is enough to sweep through the body refining realm. So after seeing this Pure Yang skill, Luo Xiu decided to practice this internal skill without saying a word. After a while, Luo Xiu walked down from the 2nd floor and came to the door of the library. Pure Yang Kung. Are you sure you want to practice this internal skill? Elder Qingshan frowned. Yes. Luo Xiu nodded. Little guy, I think you have a good talent, but you have to understand that this internal skill is extremely difficult to practice. Only 3 people have practiced it since the establishment of the martial palace. If you can't practice it, you will have wasted your time to choose the 3rd level martial arts. Chance. The elder in green shirt shook his head. If you listen to my advice, go back and change your internal skills. With your talent, it shouldn't be a problem to break through to the 8th level of body training in a year and a half. Thanks for the elder's advice, but I still plan to practice this internal skill. If I want to practice it, I will practice the best one. Luo Xiu said firmly. Oh. The elder in green shirt looked at him in surprise, especially when he saw the firm and confident look in Luo Xiu's eyes. He suddenly smiled. Since you insist, there is nothing wrong with giving it a try. Even though he said this, Elder Qingshan didn't think Luo Xiu could master it, because the 3 people who had practiced Chunyang Gong for 800 years could be said to be extremely talented. Armed with the Pure Yang Kung, Luo Xiu returned to his residence, sitting cross-legged on the bed, closing his eyes and taking a deep breath. He naturally visualized his own life diagram in his mind. In this way, he can clearly grasp every subtle meridians and acupuncture points of his body, and he can see fire as clearly as possible. Pure Yang Kung. According to the meridians route recorded in the secret book, Luo Xiu began to practice. After less than half a stick of incense, he opened his eyes and a smile appeared on his lips. Only 3 people have mastered it in 800 years. That's all. That he laughed loudly and was high-spirited. He practiced the techniques that were difficult for others to learn in just a short moment. Of course, all this is due to his ability to visualize the life meridian diagram, to observe the meridians and acupoints in his body like a fire, and to clearly grasp every subtle change. According to the records and descriptions of Chunyang Gong, it would take half a year at the slowest and more than a month at the fastest if you want to master this skill. Luo Xiu didn't think that he was some legendary cultivation genius. Everything was due to the magical life and death bead that merged with his soul. In the past 3 months, he could clearly feel that the bipolar energy of life and death was constantly improving his physique, as if he was undergoing some kind of deep transformation and sublimation. as he practices, the subtle connection between him and the life and death pearl will become stronger and stronger. Half a day later, Luo Xiu completed the preliminary practice of pure yang kung fu, and his inner energy became purer and thicker than before he practiced this technique. If before, his inner energy was comparable to the ordinary 9th level of body refining, then now, it can be compared to the average of the 9th level of body refining. But his own cultivation level has just reached the 7th level of body refining, and there is still greater potential to be tapped. The Dragon Tiger Fist and Xuanbu Shenfa of Deshang realm are comparable to those who practice third-grade high-grade martial arts. Coupled with the methods of life veins, I can fight anyone below the Qi Si realm. Opening the package next to him, there was a first-level spirit-gathering formation device, a bottle of Qi nourishing pills, and 18 low-grade vitality stones. The last time he practiced, he broke through to the 7th level of body refining. He used 2 Qi nourishing pills, but still had 3 left. Luo Xiu estimated that, including the special means of breathing out life essence, these things should not be a problem for him to reach the 8th level of body refining. Ever since he shocked the audience with his 7th level body training on the day of the assessment, and then defeated Zhang Hai on the competition stage, Luo Xiu could feel that the students in the junior and intermediate classes in the martial hall, when they met him, there was no longer the mocking disdain in his eyes. Replaced by awe and fear, Luo Xiu knows very well that this is the world of martial arts practitioners. Only strong strength can be awe-inspiring, and when you are weak, others will only bully you wantonly. With the Qin Feng sword tied behind his back with a piece of black cloth, Luo Xiu prepared his luggage and planned to go to the deep mountains and swamps outside Qingyun City to practice. There are only occasional first-level monsters in Xuanhuan Mountain. Most of them are wild beasts, so it is usually only hunters with relatively weak strength who go there. Nowadays, Luo Xiu's strength has greatly improved, and Xuanhuan Mountain can no longer meet his needs. Chapter 19 Chen Hu, 1/2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 19 Chen Hu. The Hunters Guild has always been the most lively place in every city, undoubtedly attracting attention. Luo Xiu came here with a bamboo hat. Many warriors have some quirks or have some unknown purpose, so they hide their faces. There are many such people in the Hunters Guild Hall, so no one pays attention to Luo Xiu. Most of the hunters have been away for a long time. After so many days, Luo Xiu only saw a few slightly familiar faces when he came here again. He put on a hunter badge on his chest and walked straight to the counter. Hello hunter, how can I help you? Jiang Shanshan, who was named the most beautiful woman in the Qingyun City Hunter Guild, asked with a smile. I would like to ask about the places near Qingyun City that are suitable for hunting at the 9th level of body refining. Luo Xiu asked. Jiang Shanshan frowned slightly. For some reason, the voice of this man wearing a bamboo hat sounded familiar, and seemed to be a little immature. However, Jiang Shanshan didn't think much and said with a smile, if you want to buy a hunting map, you will need 1,000 taels of silver. Give me one. Luo Xiu took out the banknote and put it on the counter. In the past, 1,000 taels would have been an astronomical amount of wealth to him, but now it is not worth mentioning. You can easily earn tens of thousands of taels of silver by just hunting down a first-level monster. Jiang Shanshan naturally would not have thought that the man wearing a bamboo hat in front of her was the young man who had teased her some time ago. Spending 1,000 taels of silver, Luo Xiu got a map. The map covered the area centered on Qingyun City, and the areas suitable for hunting were also marked. Among them, the yellow area is suitable for people below the 8th level of physical training, and Xuanhuan Mountain is among them. The red area is relatively dangerous, and usually only those led by Qihai realm warriors dare to enter. The most dangerous thing is the area covered by black. Even the high-ranking Xiantian realm martial arts masters in Qingyun City dare not go deep into it easily. Baki Mountain has many first-level monsters. There will be second-level monsters in the depths, in the red area. Soon, Luo Xiu locked an area that suited him. As long as he didn't go too deep, he could ensure his safety. Shanshan, give me 6 glasses of fire wine. At this moment, a burly, 8-foot-tall man wearing black armor strode over and shouted boldly. Behind this burly man, there were 5 people following. Each of them was dusty, their clothes and armor were slightly damaged, and they looked very tired. However, Luo Xiu noticed that although these 6 people were tired, there was excitement in their eyes that could not be concealed. Soon, 6 cups of fire wine were served. This kind of wine is very strong and burns like fire when it enters the throat, hence the name. Many hunters who wander between life and death and lick blood from the edge of their swords like the strong nature of this wine. Zhou Long, it looks like the harvest is good. Jiang Shanshan asked with a smile. This group of hunters was Zhou Long and others whom Luo Xiu knew. Guoang and the twin sisters surnamed Ji were also among them. In addition, there were 2 unfamiliar faces, who should be new hunters who joined this team. Haha, that's natural. I got a big one this time. Zhou Long smiled boldly, and 6 low-grade vitality stones appeared in his hand and placed them on the counter. Luo Xiu narrowed his eyes and noticed the silver wristband on Zhou Long's wrist. This is a second-level array device called a storage wristband. It has a built-in space where items can be stored. However, this second-level formation device is very expensive, costing at least 500 low-grade vitality stones, and Luo Xiu can only covet it. From the conversation between Zhou Long and Jiang Shanshan, Luo Xiu learned that Zhou Long led a team into the Baki Mountains this time and hunted a second-level monster, the one-horned white rhinoceros. This monster has thick skin and thick flesh, and is difficult to hurt with a sword. Even though Zhou Long was a warrior in the Qi Si realm, a group of people had to go through a lot of tricks to hunt down such a beast. The value of a one-horned white rhinoceros is about 400 low-grade vitality stones. This price made Luo Xiu speechless. Putting away the map, Luo Xiu left the Hunters Guild directly without stopping here. According to the markings on the map, Baki Mountain is farther from Xuanhuan City than Xuanhuan Mountain, and it takes more than half a day to reach it on horseback. The original more than 30,000 taels of silver were used to buy the spirit-gathering formation device, plus the vitality stone and the qi-nourishing pill. There was not much left. Luo Xiu gritted his teeth and spent another 1,000 taels of silver to buy a horse. Suddenly became a pauper again. If you don't want to give up your children, you won't find a wolf. Although the money is spent, you can make more back. In this way, with 1 man, 1 sword, and a yellow-maned horse, Luo Xiu left Xuanhuan City and headed straight for the location of Baki Mountain. Near the Baki Mountains, there is a village-sized stronghold. Warriors who go hunting in the mountains will come here when they need various supplies and rest. Half a day later, Luo Xiu arrived at the Baki Mountain stronghold. There are many people here, and those who come and go are all martial arts practitioners. There are also many merchants stationed here to purchase various materials and treasures from the warriors. The stronghold has a special place to store horses, which costs 10 taels of silver a day. Luo Xiu had just put the horses away when he suddenly saw a slightly familiar figure. It was the Yuan Dashan he met while hunting the iron-tailed tiger demon in Xuanhuan Mountain not long ago. However, the people around Yuan Dashan have changed. It should be that after the deaths of Wang Yun and Zhang Han, his hunting team also disbanded and joined another team. Yuan Dashan did not notice Luo Xiu. Even if he did, he would not recognize Luo Xiu wearing a bamboo hat. At this moment, the person who seemed to be the leader in Yuan Dashan's team suddenly looked towards Luo Xiu, with a meaningful smile on his lips. This is a tall, middle-aged man, carrying an iron gun behind his back, wearing light armor, and with a fierce look on his brows. Under the shadow of the bamboo hat, Luo Xiu frowned. He didn't know this person and didn't understand his intentions. Brothers, that boy is our target this time. The Zhang family has offered 500 low-grade vitality stones to kill him. The man in light armor whispered. Brother, what is this kid's background that makes the Zhang family spend so much energy stone on us? Yuan Dashan asked in a low voice. The man in light armor curled his lips. He's just a civilian boy. I heard that he killed the son of the head of the Zhang family, but these things have nothing to do with us. We just kill people and get money. Having said this, the man in light armor stared at Yuan Dashan and said in a deep voice, this guy is a student of Wujian. Once the news leaks out, we will be hunted down by Wujian. You just joined, but you are also an old man in this industry. I don't need to tell you any more rules, right? When Yuan Dashan heard this, he couldn't help but feel a little bit in his heart. The martial hall cultivates young people and is naturally very protective of its students. Therefore, even if there is great hatred in the martial hall, once you kill someone, no matter where you come from, they are all dead ends. However, if a Wujian student is killed or injured outside, Wujian will not intervene. However, if Wujian learns that the murder was intentional, it will be equivalent to breaking the rules and will be hunted down by Wujian. The Qinyan City Martial Palace was founded more than 800 years ago, and many similar incidents have occurred. Families with well-established backgrounds have even been uprooted and executed. Don't worry, brother, I understand the rules. Yuan Dashan said quickly. He knew very well that since he got on Chen Hu's boat, there was no way out. Chen Hu is the leader of this team, a Qi Si realm warrior. In this area of Mount Baki, there are teams of Qi Si realm warriors, all of whom are top hunting teams. If a martial arts student at the body refining realm is targeted, there is only one way to die. Luo Xiu didn't know that he had been targeted. After all, he was a 14-year-old boy who was too immature in terms of experience. He thought that others wouldn't recognize him if he wore a bamboo hat. In fact, as early as when he came out of the martial palace, people from the Zhang family had already secretly followed him. Roar, from time to time, beast roars were heard in the jungle of Baki Mountain. Luo Xiu's figure shuttled through the forest. In his perception, the number of monsters in this mountain forest was simply terrifying. During the hunting experience in Xuanhuan Mountain, sometimes you might not be able to encounter a single monster for several days, but here, within Luo Xiu's perception alone, there were more than 20 monsters. This is the outskirts of the Baki Mountains. Generally, there will be no second-level monsters, but they are also first-level monsters, and there is a big gap in strength. Some powerful first-level monsters can even surpass the level and kill the second-level monsters. Based on the induction of the breath of life, Luo Xiu could roughly determine the strength of each monster. Finally, he locked on a breath of life, which was roughly equivalent to the iron-tailed tiger monster killed by Xuanhuan Mountain, and comparable to the 9th level of body refining. However, when Luo Xiu killed the iron-tailed tiger demon, he relied on a method that could directly damage the life veins. If he relied solely on his personal strength and fighting ability, Luo Xiu would not be the opponent of the iron-tailed tiger demon at all. However, now that his cultivation has reached the 7th level of body refining, and he has mastered pure yang kung fu, his strength has greatly increased, so he wants to find a monster to try. Snapped, stepping lightly on the tree trunk with the soles of his feet, Luo Xiu jumped up and rushed towards the target position he had locked. Luo Xiu was already used to the environment in the mountains and forests. He moved as quickly as a leopard and quickly arrived near his destination. He hid behind a bush and squinted at it. This is a wolf beast, but instead of hair, it has black scales, which shine with a cold luster under the dim light of the woods. The black-armored wolf is the best among the first-level monsters, far more powerful than the iron-backed monster wolf in the hunter assessment. At this moment, the black-armored wolf was holding a bloody prey under its claws, and was biting and devouring it. The black-armored wolf is good at speed and sharp claws. Let him be my first sparring partner in Baki Mountain. That while thinking about it, Luo Xiu's back arched slightly, and with a swish, he ran out of the bushes. Ouch! The black-armored wolf raised its head and howled, its fierce scarlet eyes locked on the human figure that was flying towards him. Suddenly, the black-armored wolf flew towards Luo Xiu, so fast that it even vaguely left an afterimage in mid-air, especially the pair of claws that popped out suddenly, like a sharp knife, flashing with a sharp cold light. Luo Xiu did not dare to resist head-on and quickly dodged to the side. At the same time, he suddenly took action and used the dragon tiger fist and tiger style to attack the black-armored wolf that was in mid-air and unable to dodge, but at this moment. Whoosh! A ray of cold light quickly sliced across Luo Xiu's neck. That's so fast. Luo Xiu quickly relied on Deshang Chubu's movement technique to dodge. The black-armored wolf couldn't dodge in the air, but the speed of swinging its claws was too fast. Tamrin style. Luo Xiu immediately changed his moves and landed a fierce blow on the black-armored wolf, sending it rolling away. Luo Xiu did not use any means of damaging the vital veins of this blow. Even so, if a warrior was hit, his bones and tendons would be broken and he would fall to the ground, but the black-armored wolf was unscathed. Such hard scales. Luo Xiu snorted coldly and drew out the sword from behind. Although he has never practiced sword martial arts, if he is blessed with inner energy, his attack power will naturally be far better than that of fists. I saw the black-armored wolf charging ferociously again. Luo Xiu relied on his Deshang Inchbu movement skills to keep dodging. The long sword blessed with inner energy kept colliding with the wolf's claws, and the sonorous sound echoed in the forest. The black-armored wolf roared, its sharp claws embedded in the soil, and suddenly flew towards him like an arrow from a string. Feeling the fishy wind rushing toward him, Luo Xiu's mouth sneered. After the previous confrontation, he had probably figured out the moves of this beast. After all, monsters are monsters. Although they are smarter than wild beasts, their methods of fighting rely more on primitive instincts and no rules. Luo Xiu's legs were bent, and his whole body was almost touching the ground. The moment the black-armored wolf flew past him, the Qing Feng sword in his hand suddenly struck out, stabbing the black-armored wolf's neck. The Qing Feng sword blessed with inner energy had extremely strong penetrating power, and hot blood spurted out. The black-armored wolf landed 3 meters away, flopped and fell to the ground, its life breath constantly weakening. Scarlet blood continued to flow and soon dyed the soil near the wolf corpse red. This is the advantage of weapons. Without this Qing Feng sword, Luo Xiu would have had to put in a lot of effort to kill the black-armored wolf with his fists, but the Qing Feng sword is just an ordinary weapon. If it is a warrior, even a low-grade human-level sword can easily kill first-level monsters without the blessing of inner energy. The most valuable parts of the black-armored wolf were its claws and fangs. The black scales could also be sold for money, but collecting them was too troublesome, so Luo Xiu simply gave up. Putting the collected materials into the package, Luo Xiu suddenly frowned, because in his perception, there were several auras belonging to human warriors, showing a fan shape and approaching his location, like an encirclement. Chapter 20 The Hunting Begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In fact, Luo Xiu had discovered these people as early as when he first entered the Baki Mountains, but there were many warriors who had hunted and experienced in the Baki Mountains, so he didn't pay attention to them, but the auras of these people have been lingering nearby, and they are approaching him in a surrounding form, which makes him have to doubt. In a thorn bush, Luo Xiu completely hid his body. After a while, he heard footsteps approaching from far away. Not far from where Luo Xiu was hiding, the body of the black-armored wolf was lying in a pool of blood, and an iron-tailed tiger demon that smelled the blood was tearing into the flesh. Suddenly, a figure appeared in Luo Xiu's sight. Is it him? The man Luo Xiu saw was wearing white light armor and carrying an iron gun. He was the man he saw at the stronghold outside before, and this man even smiled at him at that time. Roar! The iron-tailed tiger demon who was devouring the black-armored wolf also heard the footsteps. The moment Chen Hu appeared, he flew towards him, his claws ferocious. Court death! Chen Hu snorted coldly, and the iron spear behind him fell into his hand. A ray of light lit up, and the spear broke through the air. With a pop, it pierced the head of the iron-tailed tiger demon directly. He is a warrior of the Qi Si realm who can fight against second-level monsters. He can easily capture a mere first-level monster. In his sight, Chen Hu also saw the body of the black-armored wolf. He walked towards it. After checking it, he frowned and glanced around. Being able to kill the black-armored wolf alone, it seems that this boy is pretty good. Based on Chen Hu's experience, he instantly determined that the black-armored wolf was killed by someone, not the iron-tailed tiger demon. There were footsteps again, and 5 more people walked out of the nearby woods one after another. Brother Tiger. When these 5 people saw Chen Hu, and from the name of Luo Xiu who was hiding in the nearby bushes, they concluded that these people were in a group, and that Chen Hu was their leader. Including Chen Hu, there were 6 people in total, and Yuan Dashan, the only one Luo Xiu knew, was among them. Did he want to kill me? Luo Xiu frowned and pondered. After all, Wang Yun and Xuanhuan he killed were originally Yuan Dashan's people. Maybe the other party recognized him when they were at the stronghold. Brother, where is that little guy? We followed him all the way here. He should be nearby. Why is he nowhere to be seen? I just killed a black-armored wolf, he won't be able to get far. These people talked to each other, and under Chen Hu's instructions, Yuan Dashan went to harvest tiger skins and iron tails. Brothers, use people's money to eliminate disasters. Since we have taken the money, the boy must die. Now everyone splits up to look for him. Once his whereabouts are discovered, kill him if you can. If you can't kill, send out a signal. Others nearby people will rush over, Chen Hu said in a deep voice. Yes. Everyone responded. Yuan Dashan, after you harvested the tiger skin and iron tail, you went to look for it immediately. Do you hear me? Yes, brother Tiger. From the conversations between these people, Luo Xiu could probably determine that the person who wanted to kill him was definitely not Yuan Dashan, but the leader Chen Hu. From what he means, it seems that someone hired them to kill me. Luo Xiu's eyes narrowed. If there was someone who had a grudge against him and wanted to put him to death, the one with the greatest suspicion should be Zhang Hai. That Zhang Hai was beaten into a cripple by him, he had the greatest possibility. I am a student of the Martial Hall, and I am protected by the Martial Hall. These guys actually dare to accept the task of killing me. It shows that they are all desperados who want money rather than their lives. Luo Xiu spread his senses and found that those people, including Chen Hu, had dispersed and searched the area from different directions. Only Yuan Dashan, the one closest to him, was carefully harvesting tiger skins. The higher the integrity of the tiger skins, the more valuable they were. Soon, Luo Xiu had an idea in his mind, and rushed out of the bushes as fast as he could, heading straight for Yuan Dashan next to the body of the iron-tailed tiger monster. But when Yuan Dashan heard the movement, he reacted instantly and quickly picked up the double axe next to him. It turns out it's you. Yuan Dashan's pupils shrank. The other person was wearing black clothes and a bamboo hat. It was the person Chen Hu wanted to kill, and this person seemed to have been hiding nearby just now. Buzz, the light of inner energy lit up on Luo Xiu's body, which was a symbol that would appear only when a martial artist at level 6 or above of body refining reaches the extreme limit of inner energy. He knew very well that he had to capture Yuan Dashan in the shortest possible time, otherwise once Yuan Dashan sent out a signal, Chen Hu and the others would come over. The Qin Feng sword unsheathed and struck directly towards Yuan Dashan. Yuan Dashan also immediately raised his two axes to block. There was a clang sound, and sparks flew everywhere. Yuan Dashan took 3 steps back, his mouth numb. What a strong force! Yuan Dashan exclaimed in his heart. He was at the 8th level of body refining. He could knock him back with just one encounter. He was at least a master at the 9th level of body refining. It's a prick. I'm going to send a signal for Chen Hu and the others to come over. Yuan Dashan threw away an axe, reached into his arms, and took out a small red bamboo tube. But at this moment, his movement stopped abruptly, because a sword was already placed across his neck. If you dare to send a signal, I will cut off your head. Luo Xiu said coldly. He knew that the small red bamboo tube was similar to a firework. As long as the mechanism was opened, a signal light bomb could be sent into the sky. The cold light of the sword's blade felt like it was stuck in his throat. Yuan Dashan felt a stinging pain in his neck, and his skin had been cut. At this moment, he felt a bone-chilling coldness. The opponent's speed was so fast that he didn't even have a chance to send a signal. Yuan Dashan nodded quickly and threw away the signal-transmitting device in his hand. He knew very well that his life depended on the other person's thoughts. Let me ask you, who asked you to kill me? Luo Xiu asked in a deep voice. Whoosh! A ray of cold light flew towards him, and before Yuan Dashan could speak, a silver-white arrow pierced his heart directly from behind. Luo Xiu's expression changed. He had just focused on Yuan Dashan, so he didn't notice anyone nearby in advance. Yuan Dashan's eyes widened. He looked down at the arrow that pierced his body, and blood was pouring from his mouth. He felt that his consciousness was getting blurry. Before he completely fell into the darkness of death, Chen Hu's voice suddenly reached his ears. Boy, I knew you were hiding nearby. Bang! Yuan Dashan's body fell into a pool of blood. Suddenly, Luo Xiu didn't need to let go of his life sense, and he saw figures walking out of the trees. The leader was Chen Hu, and there were 3 more people beside him, and an archer was hidden not far away. Luo Xiu understood in an instant that Chen who asked Yuan Dashan to harvest tiger skins and iron tails purely as bait. After thinking about this, Luo Xiu turned around and ran away without saying a word. Whoosh! The silver arrows flew forward, like silver horses, at extremely fast speeds. While running and leaping, Luo Xiu moved his step sideways, and his speed was not affected much, so he avoided the arrow attack. Chase me! Chen who gave an order, and everyone under his command immediately dispersed and chased Luo Xiu in an encirclement manner. Kick! 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 Speeding through the jungle, Luo Xiu was as fast as a leopard, and his movements were as sharp as an ape. With the step-by-step skills of the Deshang realm, even Chen who of the Qi realm was unable to match his speed. Only the arrows shot by the archer made Luo Xiu have to be careful, because the strength of this archer was much more powerful than that of Xuanhuan. Damn, running so fast. Chen whose face was ashen, and in his sight, Luo Xiu's figure became farther and farther away, becoming increasingly blurry. It is true that he is a martial artist in the Qi realm, but he is not good at body speed. However, he is not worried that Luo Xiu and others will be in trouble after he escapes, because the other party does not have any evidence. And even if he goes to the martial palace to report, it will not be a big deal. In a hidden bush, Luo Xiu stopped. In his perception, Chen Hu and the others would not be able to catch up in a short time. Who wants to kill me? How did Chen Hu know that I was hiding nearby? Luo Xiu's heart was full of doubts. Regarding the first question, Luo Xiu felt that the Zhang family was the most suspicious. As for the second question, Luo Xiu felt that he should have left some traces. With Chen Hu's rich jungle experience, he determined that he was hiding nearby. As for the specific details, he couldn't confirm where it was hidden, so he asked Yuan Dashan to be the bait. Within the range of perception, the life aura belonging to the human warriors was unusually eye-catching. The 5 opponents spread out to search the area. They were not far from each other and could rescue each other if something happened. Among these 5 people, only Chen who is at the Qi level, and the others are at the 9th level of body refining. Maybe I can defeat them all. Luo Xiu's eyes flashed with fierceness. Since the other party came to kill him, he would naturally not be polite. For example, Wang Yun and Zhang Han in Xuanhuan Mountain, he also killed them neatly. The special ability of life perception allows Luo Xiu to avoid the monsters dormant in the mountains and forests even if he travels quickly through the jungle. However, people like Chen who cannot completely avoid them even if they are experienced. According to the strength of the life breath, Luo Xiu first locked onto one, then hid his body and approached cautiously. My God, a boy at the 7th level of physical training can be so difficult to deal with. A thin man with a scar on his face was walking in the forest, holding a knife in his hand and cursing. Hiss! Suddenly, the figure of the scarred man stopped abruptly, and his eyes were fixed on the trunk of a big tree in front of him. There was a python as thick as a bowl, swallowing its core and staring closely at him. With a cold snort from the corner of his mouth, the scarred man rushed over quickly. The sword flashed past, and the python's head flew up and rolled far away. The snake's body fell from the tree. This python is just an ordinary 1st-level monster. With his 9th-level body refining strength, he can kill it easily. The tip of the knife poked at the snake, and the scarred man took out a snake gallbladder. At this moment, he felt a strong and dangerous aura, and the hairs on his back stood on end. He immediately instinctively swung the knife and slashed behind him. Chang! The sound of the impact of iron and stone echoed in the forest. The scarred man's jaw went numb and he involuntarily took 2 steps back, but then, a ray of sword light pierced his body. Before he died, the scarred man's eyes were full of fear. He couldn't imagine why a boy at the 7th level of body refining could be so fast. The only martial arts in the world that can't be broken is speed. This sentence is indeed true. Luo Xiu pulled the sword out of the opponent's body, blood drops dripping down the blood groove of the sword blade. His eyes were filled with coldness. In just over 3 months, one after another things happened to him. Not only his body, but his mind was also undergoing some kind of transformation. Without even the slightest pause, Luo Xiu quickly left here. With the Deshang realm's step-by-step skills and his ability to sense life, he had the absolute initiative in this hunt. Unconsciously, it was not yet late at night, but the sky was getting dark, and then a bolt of thunder streaked across the sky, and heavy rain poured down, dark clouds rolled in, and the jungle was shrouded in darkness. Puff, that the Qin Feng sword once again cut the throat of a 9th-level body-refining warrior. Luo Xiu said expressionlessly, "The hunting has just begun."